Next up at UFC 294, we have Tim Elliott taking on Makhachev. Tim Elliott. What are you laughing at?
Angela had Tom in his top four. That might have been that might have finished off my top four, to be honest with you. My three roommates and then Tom.
We have Tim Elliott taking on Makhachev. Tim Elliott, 19-12 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight win streak, taking on Makhachev. This guy is undefeated in his career. He's coming off back-to-back submission wins. Tim Elliott, the definition of grit. We broke down Darren Elkins last week. It's like Tim Elliott's like a little Darren Elkins. He's constantly going to come forward. He's going to make every fight dirty. He's going to put on a ton of pressure, lots of volume. He's going to stay in your face the entire time. Even if he's on the wrong side of those exchanges, he's going to keep coming forward, keep trying to make something happen. Striking's not technical, but it is effective because of that forward pressure. His best asset is definitely his grappling. He moves well on the ground. He does have submissions from everywhere as well. He's coming off that win over Victor Altamirano, where he had non-stop wrestling. He did start to fade just a touch at the end there. He's taking on Makhachev. This guy is an incredible wrestler. Even though he's only listed at 9-0, he had an insanely, unreasonably long amateur career. He's a very dominant wrestler. He has great grappling. His striking's getting a little better. 4 fights in the UFC, 22 takedowns, which is impressive, but also the guy has no control whatsoever over his opponents. He's coming off that submission win over Joffo Filio, where it's a miracle he even got that far because his leg was almost folded in half backwards. And that's the narrative here, at least from me. It is nice to see that the line tightened a bit from the open to now, because I do think Makhachev is going to win this fight. He is not in any of my parlays. I don't know. At some point, Makhachev is going to be a phenomenal fade. The guy is in trouble in almost every single fight. You can go through his fights and say, oh, on paper, he's dominant, right? He submitted Joffo. Joffo almost broke that dude's knee. His leg almost came off of his body. Oh, he submitted Jared Gooden. Oh, okay. Well, Jared Gooden had him in some trouble.
Malcolm Gordon.
Damn.
Jared Gooden is like a fucking 185 or something.
I said Jared Gordon in the last fight, too. I keep screwing that up. Because on my notes, I just have it Gordon. I don't have the first name.
Honestly, he probably would submit him.
So anyway, and then, he submitted Cody Durden, but Cody Durden took him down in like a half a second immediately and just left his neck out. So Makhachev is very good. He is young, though. I actually think the youth, the pressure is what's going to win him this fight. But the reality is that dude has been in trouble or has lost an exchange in every single one of his UFC fights. Tim Elliott, he's a little older. He's starting to slow down, but he's a tried and true vet. If he's just going to keep coming forward, keep grinding, keep shooting, keep wrestling, if he's going to come forward the same way that Darren Elkins just did last week against TJ Brown, Tim Elliott can make Makhachev look like TJ Brown. I don't think that happens. I think Muhammad's going to win this fight. He's just too fast. He is tough. His knee did not break. It's crazy. He kept going. He is fast. He's young. He does all the things. He should win this fight, but I don't trust him enough, especially not at these odds. Not until I see him dominate, start to finish, like beat somebody, never in any trouble, constantly improving. When I see that version of him, I'll really trust him, but for now, I'm just not there yet. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, eventually we're going to get to a point where we are going to fade Mokaev, right? Because I think he's going to be a monster favorite in basically any matchup until he really loses. So there's going to be a good value played there eventually. I don't know if Tim Elliott's that guy. I know that Tim Elliott is as you mentioned, he is a Cody Durden, a Darren Elkins type style, just constantly moving forward. He's probably going to be the better striker in this match, especially with his unconventional style and the way that he can throw strikes. And maybe Mokaev kind of hangs around on the feet because Mokaev is making improvements in the striking. And you could see he kind of wants to show that off, right? You see early on in fights, he wants to show off the rangy and the explosion in and out. And maybe Tim Elliott's able to find something, hurt him, get him to the ground, start controlling him and wearing him down. But the issue for me with a guy like Tim Elliott, when I watch Mokaev in scrambles, in fights, is Mokaev, honestly, he likes the chaos. He likes the scrambles. He likes when people are trying to out-grapple him because that's where he is able to capitalize on mistakes. That's where he is able to find stuff. If you come in like a Charles Johnson, right? And you are just all defense. You're going to get taken down, but you're going to be able to get back to your feet, and you can be defensively, and you can be defensively sound. And Mokaev is going to struggle with somebody like that, almost like and I know this isn't the weight class, but somebody like a Christian Rodriguez. That type of style is somebody that is going to beat a Mokaev. Somebody that can just kind of slow everything down and be methodical and wait for Mokaev to make that mistake in the early aggression, because he will make mistakes as well. Tim Elliott's not that guy. Tim Elliott is 1,000 miles an hour all the time. He is a guy that's going to be looking for advancing positions. He's not going to be just control, lay on you. He wants to finish fights. He wants to be that guy to take out the big prospect, the big undefeated guy. He's going to be aggressive, and I believe that the aggression is going to be his downfall, because when you stay safe, like Charles Johnson, you can stay safe, you cannot be submitted, this and that. But when you start getting aggressive, when you start advancing positions, when you start trying to get back to your feet in an aggressive manner, that's when these big submission artists like a Mokaev find opportunities. They get the body train, they find your neck, they go for the arm bars, whatever it is. And I think it's going to be Tim Elliott's over-aggression that really makes it's really kind of his downfall in this. So I'm all over Mokaev here. I understand the toughness that Tim Elliott brings. He's probably going to be the better striker. Mokaev could fuck around and lose the striking. But if this turns into just like a wild scramble wrestling, I think Mokaev's going to find him here. And I think Mokaev is going to, this is a good matchup for him to kind of remind people, hey, I'm pretty dangerous. I'm still pretty fucking dangerous. And I think he gets it done inside the distance with a submission.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely more confident in him than I am, for sure. But I do think he'll get it done. I think the age gap, and as we know, he's a nonstop wrestler, and we do know he's tough. We haven't seen him chinned, right? We haven't seen him have to deal with that yet. Tim Elliott's not really the big power striker guy, but we did see his knee bend the wrong direction, and he dealt with it and came out and then won the fight. So
and I don't think there was that much. I think it was just like strains and sprains and stuff like that, which is just like rehab type stuff. I don't think he really. I could be wrong, but
it's crazy he didn't tap, meaning like he didn't look at it and panic. He knew he was in trouble, just dealt with it. Yeah, he just handled it.
I mean, just like when Malcolm Gordon, got his back and took him down, he very just kind of went through the process. Someone almost had like a little smirk on his face, like it was a honestly, it was like a challenge, like, oh, okay, and then he just turns it into an armbar. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I do think he wins. And maybe I've got a little Darren Elkins in the mind still of just dominant, gritty, not great at anything kind of guy. Just beat
Mokaev is not TJ Brown. I mean, he is
no,
he is not TJ Brown.
100%. I agree. He's much smaller and slower. If you want to see all the bets, the picks, and everything else that we're doing, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It is only $10 a month. Jakey boy, do you think Muhammad Mokaev is worth $9,600 in DraftKings Fantasy? The answer is probably yes.
Yeah, even if he doesn't get a finish, I mean, with the wild scrambles, even reversals, you get takedowns, you get points for reversals. I think DraftKings actually fucked Elkins a lot. Was it the Elkins fight where I think he had like 4 or 5 reversals on TJ Brown, and they only gave him 1, which was like crazy because it was pretty clear that he had at least like 3 or 4 reversals. And that we could play a part in here where Tim gets the takedown, but the Mokaev reversing the position. So there could be a lot of points scored.
I hear you.